Parent Entrepreneur Power, conversation number 185.
Parent Entrepreneur Power.
Wait, what? It's Power!
This is the podcast for parents juggling the tough choices required for success in business while putting family first. Hi, I'm Mary Catherine Johnson, and I share the ups and downs and dirty truths of profits and potty training while chatting with successful parent entrepreneurs from all walks of life. Are you powered up? Hey there, parent entrepreneurs, power parents. You people trying to do every day what you can do that's best for your family. Whoever you are out there, I call you power parents, but you might call yourself something else. Welcome to the conversation. Hello there, Mary Catherine Johnson here, and I have with me today Kathleen Reynolds of Mama's Kitchen. Hey there, Kathleen, how you doing?
Hi, Mary Catherine. I'm so excited to speak with you.
I know, I can't wait. Now, guys, I got to tell you, every time I have someone on the show, and it hasn't been very many, and so I'm putting this out to the audience right now. When I have someone on the show who's actually a listener of the show and who has used some of the techniques that they may have learned by listening to this podcast and listening to the amazing guests that I've had, oh my gosh, what better way to start my day? I am telling you. So if you are one of those people who are listening to this show and you've applied some of the techniques that people have talked about on this podcast, talk to me, send me an email, chat with me on Messenger, come find me somewhere. I know you can find me somewhere because I would love to hear what you've learned. And Kathleen is one of those people. So, all right, you know where we start, right? We start with your once upon a time story. So how did you become a parent and an entrepreneur at the same time? Share it with me.
So I was a parent first. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and I was already working full time. And I've always had this urge to have my own business. I've had this urge for as long as I can remember, but I'm always the type that gets cold feet. So I always back out. I get kind of these confidence issues with it. And and that's where listening to the show really helped me kind of get over some of those hurdles. But I started out focusing on healthy cooking, especially for kids. And my journey has changed a little bit since then, but because I have a 4-year-old, when she turned 2, she went through the typical 2-year-old stuff with, I want macaroni and cheese, chicken nuggets, or nothing. Like, that's it. So,
I think we've all been there. Yeah.
Yeah. And as I talk to more parents, I realize everybody kind of goes through that same period. So when I was playing around with recipes at home, trying to make things healthier and kind of sneak healthy ingredients in, but still make everything homemade, I realized there might be something to this. So I set out to kind of create healthy products, and it turned out that wasn't going to fulfill the lifestyle side of the business that I was looking for, as much as I enjoy it, but it wasn't right for our time and our family, and that would take me away from my daughter even more.
Yeah. So tell me what you mean by that. So you were saying you started out creating healthy products, like you were going to actually make the foods and package them and sell them? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Got it.
Which would have put me in a kitchen at a very high rental.
Yep.
In a kitchen where the only time, and I'm already working full time, so that would mean every night I'm going off to cook and away from my daughter. So not what I wanted.
Yeah.
And there's, some hurdles there with the kitchen and everything else too.
Yep.
So I kind of switched course, and I took more of an open-minded approach to it. And I instead switched to teaching cooking classes. And other local services, including even delivery. I do produce delivery. I do because I'm focusing on health. So how can I make it easier for people to eat healthy? So the business has completely changed since then. And now I have an online offering available to kind of teach that healthy cooking and how to make it easier and more efficient, and even bring my manufacturing experience, which is my full-time job, bring that manufacturing experience into it to make it easier. But that's kind of the idea, and where that inspiration as a power parent came in. So it didn't have to look exactly like I thought at the beginning. I was flexible and went from there.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Congratulations for that, because it never, ever, ever looks the way you imagined. And why is that? Because when we dive in, there are things we didn't even know existed that we have to deal with, right?
And then you talk to more customers and you realize, although I think they want this product, they probably had that same desire. They want to cook for their kids at home too, and how to make it easier. And so that's the way
I've got to share something with you. And I don't know if I should do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Somebody came up with an idea. Somebody came up with an idea recently that I was talking to, that we were just throwing out ideas for businesses that we've seen in the marketplace. And this guy mentioned it'd be perfect for you to grab onto. This guy mentioned like a blue apron for kids.
Oh.
Like you have this, you create or have all the ingredients, but it's kid friendly so that kids are actually in the kitchen helping you cook them.
I love that. I already put out kid recipes. I do a lot of stuff. So it's kind of the next logical progression.
Yeah, isn't it? I mean, think about it. It's kind of like what you were doing manufacturing foods before, but instead of manufacturing the foods, packaging the ingredients for them to cook at home. Oh my gosh, we're talking.
That would be the next step.
Isn't that exactly what, I mean, that's like the exact thing you would be perfectly placed to create.
Well, and what makes it even more perfect is that once a week I run, like I said, the business took a totally different.
I know.
But I run a produce delivery once a week. So I go to a wholesale supplier. Because of being a business, I can shop at the wholesale supplier, go get cases of everything, break it down, and you get this grocery delivery every week, all different fresh vegetables, local farms supply it to. Anyway, that fits perfectly with that, because then I can tie that in. And
I think we just kind of pushed your business to a totally different direction that is something you've been looking for. Wow, that's really cool.
And it gets me more towards service than products.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to have to stop Mary's brain from moving right now that direction, but we are going to have to put something on the calendar to talk about what that would look like, because that's an amazing. All right. So, never mind. Let's just,
we'll back burner that for a moment.
Yeah. Blow that out of the air, because I could follow that down a rabbit hole that would be we would spend the next hour just breaking that down. Do you want to do that, or do we want to keep going the way we're doing?
Whatever you prefer.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, the business has changed. So now I'm focused on sharing that information and teaching. And actually this is another big takeaway. This is the one I emailed you about originally, to say that I was so focused on the specific services I offered instead of what's the purpose of my business. So, yes. And that was where that light bulb went off, and it should have gone off earlier, but it happened. No should have. Don't should have all over yourself, right? Please don't, because we can't. I totally changed it when it finally clicked. And this is something that came from one of your podcasts. The idea that who do you serve and what do you help them with? Why is their life better because they cross paths with my business? So I changed my whole mission. It wasn't about I cook healthy foods that I can sell you. It's not about I can deliver your produce. It's not about I can teach a cooking class. It's, my new mission is I'm here to help women give their family a healthier life. That's it. That's the whole thing. And I can do it in so many different ways. But
Yes. So see, that's the key. So, okay. So you have let's go deeper in that. You have your avatar, quote unquote, that word. You have who you serve, and you have how you serve them. And yes, there are so many different ways you can do that. So how did you determine what way would be best to serve that audience?
So when I started, I've gone back and forth a little on this, and I get a little hung up on, am I serving moms? Am I serving women in general? Do I want to focus on people in general? And what I found is that it's women. If through talking to my customers, it's just women in general, not specifically moms. I do focus a lot on moms because I offer my kids cooking classes, but I have a lot of women that purchase through my produce program that their kids are grown and out of the house, and they still want to eat healthy, and I can still help them with that.
So what's the unifying factor between the women who have kids that are grown and the moms and the kids cooking? What's the unifying factor?
I think just the focus on health. They want to do something healthier for their family and offer their family the health. And the other piece of advice I kind of married that up with was that I'm not the hero. The mom is the hero, or the wife, or the woman buying from me.
Yeah.
My mission has to be to make them the hero. So in my statement, it's I'm helping women give their families healthier. I'm not
Yes.
giving them a healthier life.
Exactly.
I'm serving them.
And so get a little deeper for me, because I see a little deeper unifying factor, because if they wanted to just create a healthy life, and that's the factor that is there, which is totally true, but they could just go to the store. I mean, it's pretty clear what's more healthy. If you hold up a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese and an apple, I mean, it's pretty clear which one is more healthy for you. For almost anyone, if you are at all aware in our society, you know which one is more healthy. So they can probably make those choices. But what are you giving them that they're not getting when they just walk into a grocery store with probably a million different choices? What are you giving them that they're not getting on their own?
I think the big difference that I make is empowering them to know that they can do this themselves, because it's too easy. I have so many customers that now that I'm, say, delivering produce to someone's house, or teaching their kids to cook, or offering healthy meal prep simplified, where they're learning tips and tricks to make it easier to cook at home. When I'm doing that, it's empowering them to do it. Whereas there's that fear. A lot of people are so overwhelmed by cooking at home, and they think it's this big project and I don't have time. And, you can make it so much easier.
That's it.
And that's what I'm doing.
That's it. I agree 100%. You make it easier for them to do. Not just that you make it healthier. You make it easier to live healthy life. They don't have to think about it. Right? Yes. Isn't it? They don't have to think about it. You've already done that for them. Anything that we have out there that makes our lives easier, that we buy, that's the reason they buy the Kraft macaroni and cheese. It's easy. All the ingredients are there. They just got to open it up, cook the macaroni, add the powder, add the milk, and you're done.
Yep. And through Healthy Meal Prep Simplified, we talk about I work in manufacturing, and there's always this focus on process and efficiency, and waste is like the big enemy. So you can do that at home too. You can make it just as easy and efficient, and prep, and it's more than what you always hear, like, well, just do your prep work on Sunday. Well, you're still taking 5 hours of work and moving the 5 hours instead of taking the 5 hours. Right. How can we turn it to 2 hours? That's right. And that's what I teach in this.
So how did you do that? So where did that light bulb go on? You've been working in manufacturing for how long?
11 years.
Okay. So between then and starting your own business, it's been, how long ago? Because we chatted via email probably a good year to 2 years ago. Yeah. So, from 11 years to a year ago, when did that light bulb go on that you married your experience and process with what you love to do?
Probably just about 3 to 6 months ago. That's when I realized people aren't coming to me for teaching a class on a specific recipe, or, that's just not what they need. They need the general knowledge and how to do it themselves. And it finally clicked, and that's where you inspired this product that I'm so excited about. Yay. But it teaches how do you take those manufacturing philosophies and techniques and apply them. And it's there's so many tips and tricks, and there's so many ways to do it, but it's great.
So I've got to, Kathleen, I've got to dive deeper into that, because I really do believe things happen when you're ready for them to happen. And I'm in a place right now where I'm realizing exactly what you just have in that realization 3 to 6 months ago. All of us have experiences that we've come to this place in our lives and that have shaped us and helped us come to exactly where we are right now. And you don't have to, because I was the same way. I used to think, oh, just follow me. And I've had this amazing thing happen. And so learn it from me. But it really is you and your life, taking the experiences you have and culminating them into where you are right now and what kind of business you can create from it right now. And your manufacturing experience with process and breaking down a complex situation, which a recipe and cooking is complex, and into an easy and simple and quick process. That's something intuitively now after working in that industry for 11 years, right?
Yep. So, and it just feels natural to me, and that's where you keep saying this too on the podcast. I keep hearing the same advice just because I think everybody knows that. That's not true.
I know. Oh my Lord. Yes. So that's it. All right. So you've taken that. It's so amazing. So in Mama's Kitchen, you've taken that process and manufacturing, and you have applied it to something you love, and you've built a business around it. So, and several different things that you're doing. So tell me more about the different processes that you, or the different products that you offer, and okay, tell me more about that, and then I'll go another direction once we get that.
So for anyone online who's not, I'm in Connecticut. So for anyone outside of my local area in Connecticut, I offer Healthy Meal Prep Simplified, and it's available on my website, mamaskitchenllc.com/simplified, and $10. It's so inexpensive. And again, that was one of those things I went back and forth and I overthought. I'm like, I just want as many people to get it as possible and try it. And so it's out there now.
And is it an online course?
It is. And it's a combination of a PDF guide, it's an ebook, a video presentation, and 7 different worksheets to try to pull all this stuff together. And my goal through that is to take a new approach to meal planning, because I think that's where a lot of people kind of lose a little momentum with diets and everything else. The meal planning is just the advice you get. It doesn't work. Yeah. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
So I explain a new approach to that, and I'll give you that in a minute. And then taking that prep work and making it easy. So not, like I said, we don't want to just take 5 hours of cooking Monday to Friday and now move 5 hours of work on Sunday.
Right.
How can I do it in 2?
Right.
And my approach to it is a lot of it comes down to batching ingredients, not planning out recipes. So if you write a meal plan that says on Thursday, you're going to eat chicken and broccoli and baked potato, it doesn't matter that when you wrote that out, that sounded like a great idea. And now you get to Thursday and think, I do not want chicken and broccoli and baked potato. I want whatever else it is. So part of it's the lack of, it feels like you don't have options. It's a lack of options, even though you wrote the plan, but it's kind of a psychological thing.
Yep.
And part of it is you're cooking to a recipe, which gets more expensive than cooking ingredients and finding ways to combine them and make it more effective. And in manufacturing, you do the same thing. You manufacture a line of products. You look for components you can use across multiple products.
Yes.
To make it easier. So kind of taking that same idea. So I have a meal plan approach that basically says I recommend 2 proteins, 3 starchier kind of hearty sides, and 5 veggie sides. And you make combinations of those that last the whole week. And I give some examples and on how to do that. And then to prep those ingredients, now you're talking about 2 hours, maybe on a Sunday to do this, maybe even an hour. Because now you're not talking about, I need to prep pork chops and chicken and pasta and and go through all these. It limits the options, but you can get clever with how you combine them, and it's a whole new meal.
Oh my gosh, yes. So that's exactly, I got to say, so I do this because my degree is in nutrition and food science. So I know how to plan meals. I know how to put things together. I love cooking. But it's hard to prep things. So this last week, let's say green peppers and red peppers that I'm using for 3 different recipes this week.
That's perfect.
So that's exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. Chop them all at once. Prepare them however you want to prepare.
Yes.
If you're going to chop.
Some of them are going to be like julienne. Some of them are going to be chopped. But I do all that prep, and then one of them was a shrimp fried rice, and the other one was I don't remember what you call it now, like a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. But instead of on the sandwich, we put it on baked potatoes. So and they had a lot of peppers and onions, and so that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
Well, then it saves so much time. And then you still get that choice element. And that's why I say don't write out that you're having that meal on, say, Tuesday night. Right. Write out, these are the items I'm planning for the week. And when you get to Tuesday night and you get home from work and you're ready to have dinner, you and your husband or your kids, you can get them involved in the decision. Say, all right, would you like chicken or pork chops? Because you've already prepped both. Yep. So you still get some element of choice without a million choices. You have to prep everything on the fly. So
that is brilliant. I'm just got to tell you, Kathleen, that is absolutely brilliant, because you're right. So many people now, and that is new. So many people now are basically trying to get you to prep everything, like you said, in 5 hours on Sunday.
And who has that time?
No, not me. Well, I have the time to do with whatever I want, but I would rather do something else with that time. Yeah. That's brilliant. Okay. So that's one product you have. That's just one.
Well, and that's part of it. So Healthy Meal Prep Simplified then goes through all the manufacturing techniques and how to do it. How do you set up the kitchen? How do you focus on reducing waste? All those different things. And the nice thing about it is,
which will save us money.
Save you money, save you time, and you can apply this to your business too.
Yes.
So these manufacturing techniques, maybe you're not, if you're not focused right now on how do I plan my week's meals, take the tips and use them. And how do you run your business? How do I reduce waste in my business?
So how would we do that? So how could we then plan or do some prep during the week and use the tools in our business the same way where you're using that in your kitchen? So I'm trying to think about how I can do that in my business, and I'm not coming up with anything right now.
So some of it would come down to preparing your steps. Same way you're talking about cutting up the peppers. Can you prep whatever documents you need to review? So if you're meeting with several people to record podcasts, can you prep the templates ahead of time? Have everything ready. You sit down once to blast out emails to say, here's the information. Here's,
See, that's because I do this naturally. So I didn't think about it. You're right.
But
because
not everybody is natural.
Yes, you are totally. That's exactly what I do. I only do my podcast interviews typically on Wednesdays. I do other interviews or conversations on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I leave Mondays and Fridays for production.
So your brain is just wired that way.
That is, and that is how my calendar is laid out. And Mondays and Fridays I save for work time. That's when I actually get work done for my own business beyond just the work for my clients. So yeah, you're right. I already do it already. So yeah.
And then the other piece, you can look at is waste. So manufacturing is huge on, and there's whole systems and structures. I boil it down in Healthy Meal Prep Simplified to what is most effective at home and outside manufacturing, but looking at waste. So even in your business, if you're finding one of the categories is transportation, where you are taking work and moving it all over the place. So if you're finding that you've got your say paperwork's the easiest because you can see it, but are you taking those forms and moving it from your desk and then moving it to an assistant and moving it, and every time you move it, you've lost time, and that's a big deal in manufacturing. So I go through those ideas and how to reduce waste in Healthy Meal Prep Simplified.
Yes, that is one of my pet peeves is touching something more than once.
You always see it with the mail. I don't know why. Everybody does it. The mail comes in, it goes from the mailbox, maybe to the car, depending on if you're going to P.O. box or whatever, but it goes, to the car, to the counter. Now I want to cook dinner. It's going to a new counter. Now, that's where you see it most often.
I know. And that's why I'm so glad my husband handles the mail, because he comes in, he brings the mail in, he puts it on the counter, and he deals with it right then. He doesn't get undressed from work. He doesn't go do stuff. And when he brings in the mail, he puts it on the counter, sifts through things, puts them where they need to be, and it's done.
Transportation is a huge cause of waste. And you do the same thing with foods. Like we talked about, you were talking about those peppers that you're going to use in multiple meals. If you go to your fridge and you get out the bag of peppers, bring it to the counter, take out one, use that, put it back. Next day, you take out one more.
Yes.
You're just moving those peppers all around your kitchen over and over.
Oh my gosh. All right, power parents.
Like small at once.
I'm telling you, Kathleen is brilliant. So you have to think about this. Stop right now and think about in your business, and not necessarily just in your life, but you can do that in your kitchen too. But in your business, where are you experiencing waste? Waste of time. Of course, we hate waste of money. We hate that.
And in manufacturing, time is money. You pay everyone hourly.
Yes.
So
and you pay yourself. You should think about paying yourself hourly. So why would you touch that thing, whatever it is that you're touching multiple times? Why would you take your time to do that? Because you are the highest paid person. You better be the highest paid person in your business. So you should not be touching things multiple times at all. Yes. So where are you wasting? Where are you wasting time? Where are you wasting energy? And thought energy is the next thing. Where are you wasting thoughts worrying about or thinking about something? That's really the biggest fatigue I find in my business is my thoughts. So that's why when we first started talking about this new idea that I shared with you, I have to put that in the back and revisit it later, because I can take that and run with it. And is now the best time to do that, right? So where are your thoughts? Where is your thought energy being wasted? And of course, where is your money being wasted? And how many programs or products have we all invested in and not used? So, yeah, there you go. And
manufacturing does that too. They focus on the decision fatigue. It sounds like you might be talking about decision fatigue and just general, those catching all those thoughts. What they do to counteract that is standard work. So and it's very documented and structured, and you don't need to document it as much if you don't need to in your business. But the idea is that I have a flow for this. Every time I get a request, say in your case, you're getting a request for a consultation, here is my template. Here's what I'm going to send out. This is, I'm going to thank the person and then I'm going to follow up with a call or whatever it might be. But there's a process.
Yes.
There's no choice anymore. It's a standard process.
That's it. Yeah, and that makes it so much easier to not have to think about. Just like I mentioned before we started talking, I still had a thought in my head of something that had to happen from my last call. So before I started anything, just write it down on my calendar, and then it's done and gone, and I don't think about it until it pops up on my calendar again. Yes, that's exactly right. All right, Power Parents, I already said it again. I'm going to say it. I already said it before. I'm going to say it again. Kathleen's brilliant, so you better be listening. Wow, that's fantastic. Okay, so now you talked about one product. What's another thing? You talked about your delivery service. That's wonderful. That's really helpful to a lot of people.
So what I've found is that this is another case where it's really, you need to ask your customers why they're using you, what they're looking for, because I was so focused on saving people money, and this does save them money. Yeah. But really, it's time. Everyone keeps telling me they just want it delivered because it's just easier. And we live in an area, we don't have a lot of delivery options. We're pretty rural out here. Mm-hmm. So what I do every week, it's nothing, that crazy. People can do it in their own areas too. It's nothing, I wish I could say it's some proprietary special thing, but I go through a wholesaler. And now that fresh fruit and vegetables are in season here in Connecticut, I can go to local farms too. But even off season, I go to a wholesale restaurant supplier. I will go buy a case of something, and I get, actually it's like 15 items a week. I get cases, split them up. And now you're getting 15 different items. I aim for 12 to 15 items every week delivered to your house as long as you live in our local area. And it's so much cheaper than the grocery store because I'm going to go buy like 50 pounds of carrots and split that bag, that package, instead of you going to the store and buying a pound of carrots and someone else going to buy a pound. So it ends up being so much cheaper that way.
Yeah,
so I get
so even with your time added into that and your gas delivering it and your product that you're delivering it in, the case, the packaging that you're delivering, even with adding all of that to it, it's still cheaper than the grocery store?
Yes.
So the grocery store marks up like what, 300%?
Oh, it's insane. I wish I knew the percentage, but I go and it's typically like 50-pound cases. So it's very quantity sensitive. Wow, so the challenge is if I have a week where a lot of people cancel or want to skip the week, it's very quantity sensitive. So there goes my profit.
Right.
But it's great. It saves people a lot of time and money. And as long as my customers are a little flexible, if you're a very picky eater, it's going to be a little tough. Yeah. And as items change, the price goes up in the wholesaler, then I buy something different. Right. So that's how I can help control it a little bit more. And I deliver only within the couple towns near me. Right. So I do it one day a week and everybody loves it. And it's going great. I love visiting with everyone when
I know. What an amazingly personal service that is. That is so wonderful. I used to do the same thing. It was called Farm Fresh to You. And it was not local to me. We actually went and visited the farm. It's about probably 2 hours away, hour and a half to 2 hours away from me. And they would deliver to my door, and it would be seasonal, and they would give me a list of ideas on how to use this produce, because it wasn't, it was like fennel bulb, or things that are not typical that we would buy at the store. And so they would show me, or even the broccolinis and different kinds of produce that I hadn't really seen before or hadn't really used in my standard cooking. So they would give little recipe tips on how to use this particular item. And then I would cook that up, and the family is, oh, wow, this is great. But it wasn't, I canceled it for a couple of reasons. Number one, it actually got more expensive because they couldn't give us enough. I have a family of 4, and 2 of them are growing boys. So they're going to eat a lot. There's not, one little broccolini was not going to last us for very long. And I would have to go to the store and buy produce anyway because it only lasted for maybe 2 meals. So I might get, 3 peaches. And we're talking, I can easily go to the store and get 10 peaches, and they're gone within 3 days. Oh. And I have to go get another 10 peaches, and they're gone within 3 days, because there's 4 of us. And if we're eating, say, 3 fruits a day, right?
Which you should. See?
That's right. We are. We do eat that. I don't just eat 1 apple every 2 days. I mean, fruit in the summer. Oh my gosh. I am totally addicted to watermelon. I'm telling you right now, I had to cut up the watermelon last night and give it to my son and just abstain, because I knew if I started on it, it would be gone, and I would eat the whole. I love it's so in the summer. It's just quintessential. It is. I could eat meals of watermelon only.
I
It's,
love it too. But you know, the craziest thing, my daughter's allergic to it.
oh my gosh! Oh,
Who's
the
allergic to
poor thing!
watermelon?
Oh, the poor thing! Oh
So
my
we don't have
goodness!
watermelon in the house anymore because we don't want to tempt her with it. And she
Well,
likes it, but she can't eat
no,
it.
it's sweet and delicious. Why would you not? Oh,
I
how
know.
awful!
I'm allergic to watermelon.
How could you? Oh my goodness! Yeah.
But with the
So
produce delivery, so we go and once a week I go get everything. I go to the wholesaler, the restaurant supplier, and now that everything's in season, I can go to a farm that's much closer. Everything is even fresher.
yes.
It's
Oh
just
my
one.
goodness.
But I'll go get cases of everything, and it's my own, labor hours to just split it up into the deliveries, and it's so much food. And I do it for $25 a week for the smaller package, and the smaller package is pretty big,
Yeah.
or $39 a week for a family.
Wow.
So I meet more families in the area. It helps me also. I kind of can promote cooking classes and other things I do.
Yeah. Well, you can and put those in your packages. Put those in your boxes, right?
I did actually. The Healthy Meal Prep Simplified went into the boxes last week as a like, hey guys, this is here now. And
Guess what? Guess
check
what
it
I'm
out.
doing? What did maybe
Yeah.
you might? Oh my goodness! Have you gotten any response yet?
A couple. So.
Oh yay! People
So I
asking
just
about
did
it and
Sunday. Yeah, I just did it Sunday, so it's very new. But
yay! Oh, but that is
it's
so
really
perfect.
interesting.
That
And
is-
I love it. I enjoy doing it. I mean, it sounds silly, but it's good exercise. I'm
Yeah.
lifting, these big
Yeah.
crates, and then I'm meeting new people, and I love it.
Wow.
And make a
that's
little money on the
fantastic.
side. So.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So basically, those are the two types of products that you have to offer.
And cooking classes.
And the cooking class. So are you like in-person cooking classes or okay?
Yep, local, in person, kids cooking classes specifically.
Got
So
it.
we do healthy recipes. I
And so
typically
do they come to your house or do you go to a particular place for that?
No, the rec departments in the area.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll do it in, it could be in a local camp, a hall, some kind of town facility
Yeah.
where there's a kids I can use.
Yeah. And then they have the kitchen and then you just basically, that is so amazing. I love that you have a variety of things that you're offering people. And then with those, you can ask them. I'm sure you have this already, probably at the end of your cooking class or something, you probably have a survey saying, what else are you interested in? What else are you having difficulty with? What else can I help you with? And just get that feedback.
And the other thing I've tried is a similar survey with people that buy the produce. What else can I provide you if I can go shop wholesale through the business? What else, if I bundled it and made it less expensive for you, what else would you buy? And I did a survey with multiple categories of things. The overwhelming response was other kitchen equipment, baking pans and, spatulas and spoons and all those kind of things.
Wow.
So I'm going to put together bundles around that too, to say,
Wow.
because I can go buy a package of 50 sheet pans, split them up, and you've got, here's a cookie baking kit with all the things you need.
Oh my gosh, that would be so, oh my goodness. Okay, see,
And
I
make
have
it
to
less
just,
expensive,
I have
you
to
know?
stop talking to you because it's just, it's getting me so many. I'm kidding, of
very
course. I'm
different.
kidding, of course. I'm kidding. But still, it's like, oh my gosh, ideas are just flopping out of my head everywhere. I mean, you could bundle that and sell it. Just that, and with all the ingredients in addition to the pan.
Yeah,
Right?
I can put everything with it. And
In the
so I'm
jar.
trying to look for other opportunities. But this is where I got hung up. So you had mentioned, that you thought it was a good thing that I have all these different opportunities. And I have a cookbook I'm working on too, but that's not done yet. And all these different things. Well, that's why if you asked me before, what do I do through the business? I would give you this kind of muddled answer that just, I would say, oh, well, I can do cooking classes or I can deliver your produce or and that's where I've pulled back a little to say, I want to help. I help women give their families a healthier life. And
what has
and I
that
do
done
that
for
through
you?
these things.
Yes. And so what has that done for you in relation to being, in relation to helping create more success for your business? How has that, what has that done?
It's helped me talk to people about my business because this will sound crazy, but I would swear for the first 3 months of business, I don't think I told a soul outside of my family. Like I just could not in person approach somebody and say, hey, I've got this thing I'm doing. And, I wonder if you might be interested. I could see a family with a child and I could not approach them and say, I'm doing a cooking class and your son looks like he's the perfect age. My daughter is the same age, I'm doing this cooking class. Could not do it. Would not approach a soul. Well, now it just makes it easier to frame that in my head. So that I can approach someone and say, this is what I do. And I'm so proud of it. And I can do all these different things. And it also opens up my business to more people. So I don't need to just focus on families with young children
Right.
or, one particular group. It's
Right.
anybody who wants a healthier life for their family.
Wow. So what would you say is the number one, business tool or power tool as we call them that you would recommend to someone building their business or trying to scale their business or at least trying to go to the next level, whatever their next level is? What is one tool that you would recommend that you just can't live without?
So there's a lot of obvious ones that everybody I'm sure says, MailChimp and those kind of things. The one that I found lately that is amazing is Toggle, Toggl, and it's because of my manufacturing background and I'm a data geek. So it is basically a way that you can time study yourself. And I at work and manufacturing you time study everything, administrative processes, shop floor processes, everything, because you have to understand how long something takes and the resources that go into it. Well, Toggle allows you to basically do the same thing, track your time on an app on your phone. And you can say, all right, so I'm getting in the car, press start, here's my drive time. Get out of the car, I'm now at work, press, so you can track your time. And the reason I think it's important for somebody taking their business to the next level is, and you've said this before, I think, how it's your time and your money that show where your priorities are. Well, this deals with the time side of it. If you're saying your business is the most important thing is growing this business and getting it to be your full-time income, but you try time study yourself and spend 4 hours a week on it, it's probably not the most important thing. But it feels like you do more. It feels, or vice versa. I found that I spend more time than I realized on my business, and I need to make sure that I am being more efficient with that time so that I can have more time for my family. So it's kind of a good wake-up call. I recommend using it for, I wouldn't use it forever. I'd use it for probably 3 or 4 weeks, long enough to get past Hawthorne effect, but not so long that you're past the point of, diminishing returns.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah, to really get and don't use it maybe in the summertime when you might be, out of a quick quote routine, but maybe after the kids have gone back to school or anything like that, so that you're in an actual routine of some kind, then you can really track when you're doing whatever you're doing. That's a great idea.
So I did it for 3 weeks. It's long enough that I know I'm not, like I said, Hawthorne effect is just the idea that you're measuring it, so now you act differently. So I'm not, it's past that point. You can't be on your best behavior for 3 weeks,
Nope.
but not so long that there's no value. So I did that, and I found how much time I'm spending, where there's opportunities for me to save time and be more efficient. And it also gets your mind thinking better about, there's been a lot of discussions, I think, about multitasking. And now it seems the more popular opinion is that you can't multitask, you're just switching quickly. Well, if you were to track your time, that's a pain in the neck to switch from one thing to the other when you're tracking it. So it almost gets you realizing, oh my gosh, how many times in 10 minutes did I switch tasks? And all you need is that reminder, and then you're back on track. And I don't need to track it all the time. I realize, no, I'm going to block this out and do this.
Yes, exactly. That is, yes. It's just like the Pomodoro effect or using rescue time or any of those things. I agree 100%. I really no longer do I multitask. I might have 10 tabs open on my browser, but I focus on the tab I'm on and open it all the way to my screen. And those other 9 are there for whatever I'm needing when I'm done with this task. Wow. That's great.
But if you track it, you'll get some good insight from it and see where you can focus.
Definitely. That as long as I stop and do it.
That's why I said only a couple weeks. If you do it too long, you're not going to get any more data that will add any more value.
Right. Exactly. Wow. That's fantastic. All right. So, I ask this quite often because there are a lot of people that are sitting out there on the fence. And I'm sure you were one of them at a particular time where you were sitting there, even though you had this business or you had this idea for this business or you'd even started on this business, you were probably still rocking back and forth as to whether, I don't know. And you mentioned that in the beginning of this, right? Where you just were like, I want to jump in, but, all that. That person, speak back to that person. What piece of advice would you give that person that's rocking back and forth going, I know I can do this, but I'm just not ready, or whatever they're saying to themselves. What advice would you give that person?
Break it down into those small baby steps and just tackle one little thing at a time. So if you start out saying, I want this to be my full-time income and I'm going to work forever at this new job that I create for myself and my business. And that's so intimidating. And and then you start thinking, what if I can't pay the mortgage on this? What if it's too big? It's too big. So don't do that. And the other thing is to really focus on the logic behind it. And basically, if you fail, so what? So think that through. If I fail, if not a single person wants me to deliver produce, then I'm not going to go pick up produce that week. I'm not going to lose the house. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? There's nothing crazy. My family will still be healthy. If everyone says, we don't really want produce anymore, all right, then I don't have to go pick up produce. So you get over that with logic. You can overcome that fear to say, well, it's just silly for me to be so nervous about it. So what? All right, they don't want it. Well, I'll do something different. And it's easier said than done, but you have to get to a point where you can be really logical and map it out to say, all right, if I fail miserably, this is what this looks like, and it's still not the end of the world.
Right. It doesn't mean I'm going to just fall down on a puddle on the floor and no one the rest of my life will ever love me. So why even wake up today? I mean, it's not about you, right? They're not saying, I don't like you, Kathleen. That's why I don't want you to pick up produce for me. Right? Nobody's saying that. That has nothing to do with it. You're right. You logically think, oh, well, and you go on. You find the next thing.
I'm 32 years old, and I lived the first 31 years of my life without doing this thing, and I can probably live another 30-something without doing this thing. So I'll do something different.
Yes. Hallelujah. I love you. You are just amazing. Yes. Oh, my gosh. Yes. Okay, we're going to have to make a date, and I'm going to give you a time constraint here. So within the next year, because we know things always take longer than we expect, right? Within the next year, we are going to have to circle around again because I have a feeling your business is going to morph and change again. And you're going to be doing lots of different things. But I have a feeling you're going to really have narrowed it down and focused and really found who you serve and how you serve them very specifically. I can just feel it. You are on a cusp to the... Yeah, right? I mean, I really, you've come so far and you have far to go, but not far to go for the next thing that's really going to get it focused. I can't wait. So we're going to have to set another time to have you come back because this has been a blast. And, I'm sorry. I know I tend to have we are talking at a day when all these ideas are here from previous conversations I've had. So I'm sorry if I'm taking it different directions, but it's just so flippin' exciting.
I'm so excited too. And now I have a new project to work on thanks to you. I'm going to start researching that and putting something together.
Telling ya, if you could do it before that other guy. I know. And he's not even interested. He's not even interested in pursuing that. He's just talking about it as, wow, I just came up with this idea. Wouldn't that be amazing? So he has no experience in cooking or and he doesn't have kids. He's like 21. He has no kids, no nothing. So he doesn't need to do it. You need to do it.
And I have the recipes. I created recipes to do the manufacturing side, send them to lab testing and everything. I got pretty far down that path before I realized this was not going to be the right path.
Well, we might have found a side path.
Mm-hmm. And this is a good way to just because something didn't work doesn't mean it can't work differently. I still have all that information, that knowledge.
Oh, I'm really excited about that one. I just can't even contain myself. That's amazing. See, that idea was planted at that time because that was only like 2 weeks ago for a reason.
And we rescheduled.
I know, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Our conversation got rescheduled for a reason so that I could get that idea and translate it to you. And oh my gosh. All right, people, I'm going to not really publish this for a couple of months to give you an idea to run with that.
Now I know my runway time. So
I know. I'm sorry. No, Kathleen, thank you so much for sharing this time with us. I really, really appreciate your persistence, your continued communication. I remember our first email communication was a while ago. So to go from there to here and to be sitting in front of me chatting about this, I am so excited for you. And thank you so much for sharing that inspiration because I know there's somebody else out in the audience that's listening that is where you were back when we first started communicating in email. And you have just probably saved them a lot of time and energy. All right. So, Kathleen, is there one last piece of advice or one last way that people can connect with you? Because you've shared such amazing stories and lessons that I know people will be able to find even more value in the next thing that you'd be able to give. So, is there any other way or any other piece of advice you'd give them?
I have 3 takeaways that take those manufacturing tools and tips and help you apply them to your small business or to your home. And I'm really excited to share them. I'm going to put them up on the website at www.mamaskitchenllc.com/powerparents. And that's MOMMAS kitchenllc.com/powerparents. And there you can get those 3 takeaway tips and also a link to where you can find Healthy Meal Prep Simplified.
Wow. Okay, Power Parents, you got it. We've been talking about manufacturing. I love this. I'm going to have to pick your brain a little bit more when we're done because that is the tools that you're using in manufacturing can be translated into online business so effectively. So, okay, mamaskitchenllc.com/power parents. Fantastic.
Well, thank you so much for all the advice from the show and your blog. And I just, oh my gosh, it's so much information that I love the show. And I keep trying to implement whatever nuggets I can take from it. And I love it. So thank you.
To get powered up for your day, just go to parententrepreneur.power.com and listen to any one of the over 100 episodes we've had so far with amazing entrepreneurs just like you. It might just help you feel like a grown-up again.